Donovan Thomas Jr. was shot dead on the side and fell onto the curb when he was murdered.
I don't want anything from those people. She wants us to come and speak.
And we are back, and we are back. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, y'all. Please touch the like button. You're making me beg. I'm back to begging you. Y'all, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a bit of a mashup of different victim statements from the family and also how the victims are discussed in court, particularly as it relates to the state. What I noticed watching the YSL trial just a few days ago is that when they got to talking about Donovan Thomas and how he lost his life, it just seems so disrespectful to me. I think a lot of other people also got that feeling. The state was just, they're so like, they want this so bad that they're bringing in lyrics and they're just speaking in a way that it just doesn't seem to respect the life of people who lost their life. Also, later we're going to get into the Shymel Drinks situation as well, and we're going to hear at the end from his aunt as she was interviewed by Miss Sylvia. So shout out to Miss Sylvia. I will place a link to that in the description. So y'all, we're just trying to get a sense for the real impact on the victims and also how the state seems to want to use them. We know they have to present evidence in order to get a conviction. That is their job, but it just seems like they're not able to do it in a way that's sensitive and respectful of the families. So that's what we're going to look at today, y'all. Now, before we get into it, if you're interested in working in the legal field, if you're interested in fighting for justice, go to our website at careerparalegal.com, put in your information, and we will get back to you. We've been doing this for over 20 years, so you'll be in good hands with us. And with that, y'all, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Hit the like button now. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Negotiations have broken down. We are asking that the court sentence Mr. Williams as we have asked earlier. And prior to the court imposing a sentence, we would ask that Ms. Shawana Edmonds, who is the mother of Mr. Thomas, be allowed an opportunity to make an impact statement. And that is all that we have unless the court has questions.
Okay, well, given that Mr. Williams is not charged with the murder of Mr. Thomas, I don't think that is applicable here.
I checked on that, Your Honor, with respect to count one. As a co-conspirator, Mr. Williams is responsible for all of the acts of the other co-conspirators, the overt acts. The overt act of the murder of Donovan Thomas is one of those acts.
I know, and this trial is not complete, and so y'all have not yet proven that. Not to mention that you dismissed the murder charge against one of the co-defendants who already fled, so.
Not for that case, Your Honor. That was Mr. Drinks.
Okay.
We have not dismissed any.
All right, well, if there is a conviction on the RICO or murder count following the close of this trial, that would be the appropriate time for the victim impact statement to be made.
I'm really living like that. I'm just the one made it out. I just been a I walked it out. I walked them down. Anybody get a piece, show me. I just let that boy on the curb, call me Picasso.
Well, maybe artistically clever. I'm Picasso, chalk work, op work. Those references, without specific links, really make, through his music, through his words in this music, create the impression, and I'm afraid will create the impression to the jury, that Mr. Stillwell is a killer without, and that impression will be made through fictional art as opposed to the evidence in this case. So again, without a direct nexus, we are going to object under 404A and 403.
All right, so is there anything in this song that is significant or distinctive from whatever's in the other couple of songs?
Yes, I just left that boy on the curb, call me Picasso. Mr. Donovan Thomas Jr. was shot dead on the side and fell onto the curb when he was murdered. And we believe that is distinctive from the other songs that we presented, Your Honor. He also walked up with his chopper. We do believe that one of the murder weapons used to kill Diamond Thomas was a 7.62 by 2.8 rifle.
And that's
Well, by y'all's theory, nobody walked up on anybody for that one.
That's true, they drove by.
Yeah.
It is accurate, they drove by, but the fact is, he's talking about a chopper weapon, but you're right, they did.
Okay, and is there evidence that he fell onto the curb after being,
Yes, he fell to the ground, that's when, I think,
well, everybody, I would assume, after they're dead, collapses. Anything about a curb is what I'm asking about.
I believe he was outside between, when you look at the surveillance video, his vehicle and that other vehicle, which was close to a curb, is what.
So it's a stretch.
I mean, I think maybe sidewalk didn't fit into the lyric very well, so curb.
Well, he didn't fall on the sidewalk either, did he?
He did, he was outside.
Well, that's what I just asked you.
He was outside.
I know he was outside.
he fell into a parking lot.
Yeah, parking lot. Was it the curb of the parking lot or just the parking lot?
The curb and the parking lot meet. That's
I know. And was his body in the parking lot or on the curb?
was on the curb.
Curb. He was in the parking lot, he was on the curb.
That's what I asked, is did he fall onto the curb? And y'all are now saying yes?
Yes.
I would disagree with that.
All right, can somebody pull up the video and let's look?
Because I don't think it's a camera view, Your Honor.
Okay. So we don't actually have the
He
evidence of
runs
that.
to
Do we have the crime scene photos?
Yes.
I think the state would probably agree with me. If you look at the video, there's a car that goes by. No one walks up. There's a car that drives by. Mr. Thomas is shot. He reacts and kind of turns and then goes off camera view. And there's a car in the parking lot. And my understanding is he collapses. He was standing near a sidewalk when he was
Kind
hit
of
with
up
bullets.
against an SUV, right?
And then he collapses in the parking lot, I believe behind the SUV that is in the surveillance video.
He's not in the parking lot, so
Don't we have crime scene photos?
we do. His car was to the edge. He was standing closest to the barbershop in front of his vehicle, so when the shooting starts, he runs in the direction of Texaco. So he's not running in the parking lot, he runs in the direction of Texaco and falls, we believe, in front of the barbershop. I think the testimony was from either Mr. Hendricks or Mr. Sammy Davis that they walked up and found him, like his body right in front of the barbershop, closest to in front of the barbershop, but not like in front of the door, but near the barbershop. So that's what I think the testimony was.
Further away from the curb.
The barbershop, right, so we're going to pull up the picture where we need medical intervention supports.
Of course, the more it doesn't match the facts,
So
the better it is for your client, Mr. Shard.
So that's where his hand is, Your Honor, so his falls, we believe that's closer to the curb. That was his black hat that was collected.
Okay, yeah. That could be argued to be a curb. It's not the curb by the street, it's the curb by the barbershop. All right, I'm going to permit that. So does that take us to the end of the song evidence?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What is next on our list?
Your Honor. Given your decision to admit those lyrics, I'm going to have to ask for a severance. I have no opportunity to cross-examine Mr. Stillwell. They're highly prejudicial statements that could possibly be used against my client. If you're going to deny the severance, I would ask.
Give you a limiting instruction.
I would ask for a limiting
Would you like to
instruction.
craft it, please?
I will work on that, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, but I'm not withdrawing that request
All right,
for
well,
severance.
that's denied.
Okay, I will draft
It's
a.
a RICO and gang conspiracy case. So
As I've heard Mr. Floyd
I
explain.
will eagerly await your proposed limiting instruction.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, so we've done the phone extraction, we've done the music. Wiretap-wise, where do we need to go?
All right, Mr. Body.
Yes, just very briefly, and thank you. The district attorney just wanted me to urge the court, due to the fact that the Thomases have been negatively affected incredibly traumatically by what has been discussed by both parties here today, to make a brief statement as she believes that they fall within the exception or within the bounds of Marcy's law. If the court would allow, I understand the court made a ruling earlier as it relates to that, but she wants
All right. Thank you. And I appreciate, well, I cannot even begin to understand what they must, anybody must be going through when they lose a family member to violence or criminal violence. Mr. Williams himself has expressed his own sorrow to the family. I, again, am going to stand by my belief that the appropriate time to hear a victim impact statement from them is at the close of the trial that contains the murder count with regard to their family member. All right. Thank you.
All right, so moving to the lyrics, and y'all are saying that on Red Light, there's someone else who is also singing whose words you think are relevant. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. B. Slime, who we believe is a YSL co-conspirator, says the chorus in Red Light, and that chorus comes right before Mr. Stillwell's verse.
Okay.
The chorus, I believes approximately at 144.
All right. So the chorus and then a verse by Mr. Stillwell, and that's it in terms of anybody other than Mr. Stillwell singing or rapping on any of these 4 songs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do y'all have the sheet of the lyrics or, you know, an approximation of the lyrics? Okay. And so the objection on the B Slime chorus that comes before Mr. Stillwell's verse is what?
It's not his words.
Yes.
And there's references to Red Light, which is could be viewed as let's just say the Shabbat drinks homicide occurred at Red Light. So, and that's really why I'm interested in this song in particular about the information that the state has. Of course, you know, I have access to my client, but if my client chooses not to testify, then that information would come out through him. So what I'm wondering is, do the forensic examiners that look at the audio file have any opinion about the creation of that audio file?
I'm not following you now.
Okay, so my understanding of how this works, you're at the music studio, there's an engineer working there with you. You're creating music. At the end of the session, you are sent the audio file by the engineer.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how it would end up in your phone or something, you know, or your computer, whatever device you have.
Okay.
But we just have a 3/17 date. You know, of course, I'm not providing live testimony of this fact, but I know that that song wasn't created on 3/17, And if
Well,
we
it has to have been created sometime before,
right, and
either before or on 3/17, and you would like to know, was it created in like January of 2022?
well, if the state's going to argue that the words red light are a reference to the Shamal Drinks case, then by definition it would have to have been created after the Shamal Drinks homicide. And I don't believe that to be true. And I'm just wondering if the state has any proof that it was created before.
Or if they're even going to argue that.
Right.
I don't know. Are y'all arguing that red light refers to the drinks death?
No, our argument is going to be that with the nature of this criminal enterprise, that they don't mind killing their ops at red lights, generally speaking. I mean, so the fact that Mr. Drinks was murdered at a red light is consistent with the nature of the enterprise, Your Honor. That how significant is it that there's a song in which they talk about shooting their ops at red lights?
All right, well then I would say that pretty much is an argument, even if you just say 2 + 2 instead of 2 + 2 = 4, you're saying this is a reference to the Drinks killing. So, which you're certainly entitled to do.
Right. I mean, we can't say specifically. We don't know. We don't think, and we're confirming the time that he went to the studio immediately after and wrote this song. I don't think that occurred. But there is an inference that this idea of killing your ops at the red light is relevant, given that Mr. Drinks was killed at a red light.
Well, and that's where kind of the 404A and propensity and everything else comes in, because Your Honor wasn't here at this. Maybe you were. When I think you may have been. Kenneth Copeland was on the stand.
Oh yeah, I was there for some of them.
You remember? And I asked him, and red lights are kind of a recurring theme. And I asked him about masks and tint and red lights, and he said, "Oh no, that's a must. Tint is a must. I don't stop at red lights.
Right,
that's a must."
that.
So these are generic themes throughout this type of music, and that's.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of trap and drill, and there's just a lot of references to ops. These are common themes in this type of music, and so if the state can't show that it was created after the Drinks murder, which I don't believe they can show that, then it's just kind of a general statement about red lights and the circumstances in which we live. And to me, we're going into propensity and 404A.
Well, I don't even know what the words say, so
Okay.
I can't really say whether it's propensity evidence or not.
And the red light portion, I'll just reiterate, is not Shannon's words either. It's B. Slime doing the chorus.
And I can share this. I am Shamel Drink's aunt. And like I shared with my sister about this case and the situation from day one,
Before you go, my condolences to you, and also I do pray for your family, for your strength.
thank you, because we really need it. We really need it. Like, we are not lashing out to the defendants. The only thing we want to know is the truth. And like I shared with my sister from reading the indictment, and I told her from day one, it's wrong that they trying to tie this into a RICO case with racketeering and have so many people brought into this when it should be done individually. Okay, charge the ones individually for the individual crimes of what they have done. Yes, they have been in negotiation. Love, Hilton has been lying to my sister. She's been lying to us. And it's so sad. I'm out in Louisville, Kentucky. I'm working. She calls us today and told us to be to the courthouse at 3 o'clock. My sister is in another part of Georgia working. Nobody could get there at that time that they allow it. And then she calls my niece to tell my niece, your mom is upset. She's texting her, wanting to talk to her. And yes, Nichols, they offered him a plea. He took it. They offered Shannon one, but he didn't take it. And he made tomorrow. But they want us to be there to speak. Speak on what? I can't come there and speak because I probably will be locked up because I would lash out at the prosecutor at the state for the mishandling of this case and the way they have went about doing it. I want to thank you. Um, it's hard for us to look at it. It's very hard for my sister to look at it because my nephew is my baby. Like, I raised him.
Mhm.
He's very, very mixed.
Mhm.
And it's just, it's just crazy.
Well, how is your sister doing? Did they get her some sort of counseling or anything like that? Grief counseling?
No, no, the same thing that you guys see as far as how they act. And what angers me
Mm-hmm.
is the deceit. And I know that I'm not going to be there. My sister and her kids, they may not even be there because she already done told Love and she done told Hilton. Like, straight up. She told Hilton, when they first started talking about Shamil and started introducing things, my sister knew nothing about it. And I called her because I was at work and I was watching your live and I was like, hey, this is going on. This is happening. She was like, what? So she calls and in court and I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
So Hilton couldn't answer because she was in court, but my sister texts her and she's texting her back saying she'll call her when she goes on lunch. She called her, but I don't understand why they can't be truthful about things. And then she tell her today, don't believe what you see on the news. They just showing y'all all of the bad, but they not showing you or telling you any of the good. And my sister straight up told her, like, look, and she made mention of your pod, like, because I see in clips, she's like, I'm watching somebody that is in the courtroom live. I'm not getting my information from the news clips, what they clip and report. I'm watching this, I'm getting this live. And I think it's just it's preposterous. It's very, very, very sad. Very sad how they going about doing this.
I'm sorry.
I want justice. We want justice, yes. But we also care about the rights of others.
Yeah. Hmm.
They don't know who killed my nephew. They don't know. Because what they initially said, what they initially told us, she
Mhm.
came back and said something totally different today.
They said something different today from what they're saying on the
Every
stand.
yes, 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 ma'am. Yes. And it's me trying to, and I hate to have to tell my sister, but I just believe in keeping it real. And it's like I can't prepare her. I can't prepare her, but I just literally told her we're not going to get the justice that we deserve and that he deserves. It's a lot. It's a lot that the people don't know. It is a lot, and it's sad. I tried to get me a flight, but there was no flights leaving out,
Did
and
they
I'm really
did they offer to pay for your flight?
no, 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 no. I don't want anything from those people. She want us to come and speak.